Here we are at UKREiiF in Leeds, and over the next few days we're going to hear from our members and from our clients about all sorts of things, ranging from AI and data to culture and placemaking. It's just going to be a fascinating few days where people can get together, can share their hopes and fears for the future, and hopefully move the agenda forward. Kicking off tonight with a dinner with Stride Tregown, who have brought together people from different parts of the industry to debate the topic of trust in placemaking.
The way that we've done it in the past, which has worked really well actually, 3 questions, 1 for each course. Sarah sets a theme question. We tend to go at it as people are resting from a course, and it kind of builds over the evening. It's a great format actually. It means that it's semi-structured, but everybody has a real sense that they can chip in and contribute to the conversation.
I think tonight is about giving people new ideas, fresh things to take away, but also it's just a really interesting conversation for people working in the sector that want to do things a bit differently.
I think you can't undervalue how important it is to come together as an industry and actually share your knowledge and your experiences and actually listen and learn.
I'm not sure that we're going to learn from each other quickly enough and bring enough people along on that journey and try not to leave people behind unless we're gathering in person. And I'm not sure that we're measuring what we're learning enough. And I think that's the next step to these events, is that actually we need to be drawing lines in the sand and measuring the iterations and how we're improving, because then we can start to look at what conversations are progressing faster, how we can learn from that to get ourselves out of the mess that we've created.
When you and I are here in 5 years' time, what do you think we could have achieved, and what do you think the big issues for us to tackle are over that period?
So a nice small question, thanks Max. Brilliant. In 5 years in property, of course, is just a nanosecond. It's such a short period of time. So you think about this year being the first year of the new property cycle, so much that is just beginning to take shape. For real estate, we think about the big changes through technology. We think about much more effective partnership working, I think, between public and private sector, but across the public sector as well. There's so many different disciplines that are required to make successful places happen. And I think connecting like we do in an event like this to bring the ecosystem together, whether it's funders, whether it's developers, whether it's design, there's a full spectrum of specialist skills that are needed to create great places. Long way of saying, I think in 5 years' time, you want to be able to see the best places that are fit for the future, that are fit for the next economic cycle, really finding their foundations in conversations over the course of today, tomorrow, and over the course of the next year.
I think from the Northeast perspective, I think it's really important that now that we have devolution, that there really is one voice and the whole region does need to come together. There's been so much impact made over the past 5 years, especially with Invest Northeast, with Newcastle Gateshead initiative, and really hope that that comes together for the whole region so that all of the voices within Durham, Northumberland, Sunderland and Gateshead all really do come together as one, and we don't go back but we move forward in terms of the impact that's already been made.
As you know, Max, AI and data and the world of the built environment and how we use AI to help us become more efficient, to help us work again more collaboratively. What's great about the speakers that are here today is it's real different perspectives of the whole life cycle. So right at that, early stage design process through Introba as MEP designers, and understanding the use of building information modelling and how we can collaborate earlier and what those challenges are, and particularly from clients, public sector clients who have got those real life challenges against tight budgets, against looking at traditional procurement routes that probably aren't working in the way that they should. And more importantly, about what we need to do to change that, things like how we communicate, what design delivery looks like in terms of data collection, and actually how we can use AI to work more seamlessly and particularly around transparency. What will be quite good to come out of today is having that client perspective alongside that design delivery perspective, because all design consultants are so pushed in terms of delivery and timeframes that sometimes you're in the weeds without actually understanding that bigger picture and the impact of your role on that more efficient bigger picture, and what impact can we play.
I think one of the most interesting things for me is that there was a real united view in terms of the fact that data needs to be interoperable and that it needs to pass from party to party as easily as possible. There was also a lot of opinions around the space for AI and that we need to leverage generative AI as well as non-generative AI, and that there is still a place for humans to interpret what data means and make decisions because of it. I think one of the most interesting points that was made by Al was that it's about data-informed decisions as well as data-led decisions.
Well, I've got two hopes for the next 5 years. The first one is that the recovery from the pandemic will be complete. And as everybody knows, the return to the office, the return to our cities is going massively well in Asia, the Middle East, India, Latin America, and it's going really pretty well in Europe now. It's only North America that's lagging behind. I want to see that process complete as we reinvest and re-engage in play. Then the other thing I want us to do in the next 5 years is really optimize what I think are the three really big new tools that we have at our disposal. The first one, of course, is exponential technology, how to create places that are really connected so that they're able to use technologies in an optimal way to make places clean, green, compact, livable and breathable. The second one is to really build a partnership with intentional capital. The big new source of opportunity that we have is that the finance industry has realized that its license to operate depends upon it being a reliable and responsible partner in the challenges that the world faces. And we have to organize and engineer to make that money work. And then the third one is that we really invest in the new art of place leadership, the way in which both property companies, infrastructure providers, local governments, asset owners and others work together in the common places where they're invested to create a place performance that enables each of those individual entities to do better than they otherwise would. In the next 5 years, with exponential technologies, intentional capital and the new art of place leadership, we have the opportunity to create a new toolbox in how we lead, manage, augment and optimize places for people, for planet and for shared prosperity.
I'm here with Marsha Ramroop, Director of Unheard Voice Consultancy and author of the upcoming book Building Inclusion. And my question to Marsha is, what are your hopes for the built environment for the next 5 years?
Well, clearly, as the author of Building Inclusion, I want that to be used as a tool to help people develop the skill of inclusion across the built environment. And this is so important because we are doing okay in quite a few of the professions to attract a diversity of people into the profession, but there's a bit of a revolving door. We need to retain that talent, and that's all about creating those cultures of inclusion. And actually, it needn't take that long. It's all about having the right behaviours, the right policies, procedures and practices to be able to retain that talent, to create inclusive design and to engage our communities properly. And if we can do that, and I really think it's very small shifts in terms of behaviours, attitudes, mindsets, thinking, then we can really make that change that we want to see and create an accessible, inclusive built environment that everyone can enjoy and be part of.
And are you feeling optimistic that we can achieve that in the next 5 years?
I have to be optimistic. I mean, we may not get there, but what I really want to see is that we all start to move on that journey. We all start to follow that strategic direction, that vision that we can do it. And if we feel that we can, we absolutely can. It's all about the motivation. Do we actually want to? And not only do we want to, but when we feel uncomfortable, when we feel defensive, when we feel fearful about these, what are really quite sticky and difficult subjects, we take it on the chin, we pick ourselves up, we accept when we've made a mistake, and we move forward differently, knowing that moving forward differently will make the big difference that we want it.
Next 5 years of built environment. Well, I think there's two key issues that come up for us as an organisation, but that also, I think, chime very much with the public and also with the political atmosphere, and that's affordable housing, and it's the net zero agenda. So I think whoever the next government is going to be, I think the focus really has to be on pushing for more affordable housing, and I think that has to be led by government. I think we need to see government grants back. We need to see government putting money into building council houses, which was not happened for a couple of decades, and supporting housing associations, and truly trying to improve the lives of people in cities around the country. We have obviously seen levelling up money go around the country, but often that has missed inner cities and some really deprived parts of the UK. So I'd like to see that addressed over the next 5 years.
So we're gathering here this evening some Labour local authority leaders from across the country. We've got someone from Leeds, a couple from London, and really the question we're asking is, what does a potential Labour government, what does that mean for the built environment? Asking, what does back the builders, not the blockers actually mean? What could that mean in practice for local communities on the ground whenever they ask their representatives, what can you do for us? So this evening we're hoping to have a great conversation with some Labour leaders across the country and give us an insight into what Sir Keir Starmer and his team actually will mean for us as we're on the ground, built environment practitioners, trying to make a difference and build places and spaces that are shaped by the community and really make a difference to them all.
I'm hopeful that we're going to see a massive investment in social and affordable housing. I think in the UK, and I'm the chair of London Councils, in London particularly, we're seeing a huge housing crisis. In my city, 1 child in every classroom lives in temporary accommodation. We see huge overcrowding and just a desperate need for more affordable housing. And I think that we're hearing from national politicians a real desire to invest in council and affordable housing, a desire for many of the developers here to work in partnership with local authorities to deliver it. So my hope is that over the next 5 years, many more of our residents will have homes that are safe and secure and are genuinely affordable.
My hopes for the built environment for the next 5 years is that we actually really take a data-based approach to it, start looking at what we need to do to improve our buildings and deliver real value, real sustainable benefit, and really tackle with the issues around climate change.
My hopes for the future for the built environment is that we can have more honest, transparent conversations, work as a team in a true sense, and really sort of benefit from the tools that are at our disposal.
So I hope that we see a bit more of a strategic approach to planning. We now have a newly elected cohort of devolved mayors. What I really hope is that they embrace the opportunity and take those spatial planning powers, that they turn their visions into a spatial reality, a statutory plan that really provides that certainty to the investment community, to the local community, to their voters. And from that, we see other areas following suit, working in partnership beyond the administrative boundaries to really deliver what we all want to deliver and hope to. And you can hear from the energy behind me here at UKREiiF. There's a lot of people here talking about the art of the possible. So let's move the conversation on now into delivery.
My hopes for the built environment are continued investment into this, more involvement in the community, and a more collaborative approach to real estate and not top down. We need to get everyone involved because this is everyone's future. Thank you.
I would like the built environment to become more inclusive and more focused on affordability of really livable homes.
So we're here at Regeneration Brainery Studio, and I'm with the lovely Iman, who's part of the team. And we're interested to hear her views on her hopes for the built environment industry in the next 5 years as the voice of the next generation.
Yeah. So I am currently hoping to get into architecture. I am doing A-levels. However, I didn't plan on doing architecture first, so obviously the subjects that I chose for my A-levels have been a bit of a barrier for me to becoming an architect. A lot of times when I was applying for universities and apprenticeship, they all asked me for like maths and physics, and that is something that I didn't choose because I wanted to do fashion designing. However, I've been doing a lot of like other stuff, so Regeneration Brainry. We're a charity that helps people get into the built environment, not only architecture, a lot of other built environments, so interior designing, quantity surveying, engineering, and all of that kind of stuff. I've been with them for a year now, and I've done 3 work placements through them. So I've done it with Loft Interior Design, BDP, and UKREiiF Architects as well. And this is my first UKREiiF with them, and I'm really excited to be here, so yeah.
I would love to see places that are joyful and where everyone feels like they belong. For that to happen, I think the public sector needs to lead the way. They need to be bold and radical and be open to taking risks and be open to failure and being able to have those conversations. It also needs the public and the private sector and the third sector, everyone to work together to make that a reality. I'm all for building empathy and trust between people because that's the only way I think that could be made a reality.
Quite simply that we get a housing minister that understands housing need, understands the people that live in the various homes and that they stay for longer than 6 months.
Well, first and foremost, we need to have some people with some ambition to get on and deliver stuff. You know, it should be in the job description of politicians to build new homes. We need millions more homes, as we're delivering in Harlow. 23,000 new homes, 50% growth over the next 10 years. It's absolutely transformational. We need some people with some ambition to get on and deliver it.
At Muse Places, we're a regeneration and placemaking focused business. We massively believe in the power of partnership. Our whole approach to regeneration up and down the country is all based on partnership. And we look forward with optimism. There's lots of challenges across the whole of the built environment industry, but we're involved with great partnerships addressing local and regional need up and down the UK, and increasingly getting support from government to make some of these big schemes happen that will make massively positive change in all their communities.
I'd like the sector to be more innovative in the type of housing that it delivers, so more different tenure types, particularly for key workers, so people that are excluded from most social housing but can't afford to access private housing, either rented or owned.
I think my hope is that we are beginning to listen and that we listen to the communities around us. We listen to those who are impacted by the built environment. And one of the things that I'm really, I really try to do is to think about how the built environment can improve people's quality of life. And if we can do that, I think over the next 5 to 10 years, that would be an extraordinarily positive thing.
And are you feeling optimistic about that?
I'm feeling optimistic in that I think the sea is changing. Culturally, we're much more interested in thinking about the holistic nature of our built environment, understanding that health, education, as well as, our building fabric is absolutely vital. So we have to take collective responsibility about how we encourage and make sure that we draw all of those things together and work collaboratively to ensure that long term we are building an environment that's fit for the future.
Big events like UKREiiF are really important in terms of bringing people together to actually have open and honest conversations about the challenges that we're all facing in the built environment. I can get sort of stuck in Whitehall and sort of thinking, okay, well, we need to do these, policy changes, but actually being out here talking to people, you kind of understand how the policies that we're creating in central government are actually playing out on the ground. And I think looking into the next 5 years, climate change isn't going away, but we need to start thinking again about retrofit, about adaptation, about how we re-engineer and kind of rebuild nature into towns and cities, getting some visibility in the wider property industry of these changes about like how we build nature back into towns and cities.
What needs to happen over the next 5 years within the built environment?
Okay, I've got one biggest, simplest answer to that, which might take more than 5 years, but it's got to start in a big way now, with a new government, whoever that might be, and it's education. It's education to children, to young adults, and not that it doesn't exist at the moment, but it's not good enough. We need to inspire people, the young most of all, to be optimistic. A new generation of non-NIMBYs who really want change and become connoisseurs, I guess, of good change.
One thing we're all hoping for is certainty, which we'll get in the next few weeks, 6 weeks' time, I hope. We will also then have, I believe, a government that is committed to building the homes that the nation needs, to investing in infrastructure, to investing in public services. Labour, to their credit, have been quite bold in talking about that in the pre-election periods, which is quite a brave thing for them to have done. I know we don't know the policy detail yet, but the mood music is very encouraging, and it seems that they're also very keen on making the current system work well, rather than a kind of revolution of the system that would take years to bed down, which is also welcome. So I'm excited to see what will happen.
So Opportunity London, we're trying to raise the next 100 billion into London across real estate, energy and infrastructure. So let's hope on the 4th of July we're going to have a bit of certainty and a bit of consistency so our investors can keep pumping the cash into our great capital city.
Hopefully it's a movement, action. I think lots of people are waiting for the general election and not making decisions because we're waiting and we're waiting. So I wish the British people a good election because I can't vote. But I think what we need is direction, we need decisions, we need commitment. And I think that's what the general election will bring, hopefully. I hope so.
Okay, thank you very much.
And one thing is I hope that the new government really focuses on fixing the things that need fixing. Housing needs fixing, health needs fixing, equality needs fixing. So as a foreign national living in Britain for 24 years, I hope that happens.
Fantastic. Thank you very much.
Max is the driving force, the inspiration, the founder and the chief executive of the London Collective. And the London Collective has delivered a magnificent amount of positive force for good and change through the work that we've done and the networks and connections we've made with each other and for our clients. So a big shout out for the London Collective. Thank you very much.
Happy 5th anniversary to the LDN Collective.
Happy anniversary!
Happy 5th anniversary, LDN Collective!
Happy 5th year anniversary to the LDN Collective.
Happy 5th anniversary, LDN Collective.
I really want to wish the LDN Collective a happy 5th anniversary. Well done for the work that you're doing.
Happy 5th anniversary, LDN Collective.
Happy anniversary, LDN Collective. A great 5 years. Look forward to the future.